We'll give them that 5 seconds apiece to make sure everyone's connections are coming together. With 1 pace lap, the rule is under the pace lap, if anyone lags out, there will be a restart. We have up to 4 starts for the race. We haven't had to worry about that yet this season. Cross your fingers, knock on some wood, because it's been good so far. We weren't live last week. I was out of town, unfortunately, had to deal with some things, but glad to be back and ready for some racing action. So, as we go around for the pace lap, let's start with the grid order for tonight's race. Starting on the front row will be AMS Tsunami, and alongside him, SSR Brentwood. Behind them is SMX J Yankee and AMS Turismo. In the third row, it's SMX Fimo Racing alongside SMX Savitar. In the fourth row, it's FVR Willow alongside SSR Steve. In the next row, it's DBO Dr. Quinn alongside Slipstream F1. First time starting in the top 10 for him this season. We'll see how that goes. And then in the 6th row, it's ESV Eclipse alongside AMS Supreme. In the 7th row, it's FVR Erie 95 alongside AMS Salmon. ESV Viper alongside ESV Barcode will round out the field as we get ready to go for some racing action. So it's going to be an interesting night coming into the race. AMS Tsunami seemed pretty confident. This is one of the tracks it seems that he is ready to rock and roll with. But the big question is who else is up in the front row? You got SSR Brentwood and SMX J Yankee. Brentwood, who did a phenomenal job in qualifying, 2nd fastest overall. And then J Yankee, he's shown a lot of promise this season. I think the big eyesore, if there was one, would probably be Turismo. You feel like he would have done a little bit of a faster pace than the 2 guys in the front, but yeah, that's why there's qualifying. That's why there's times to be put down, and it looks like he's going to have to do some work. But if those guys are as fast as they are, I mean, it's going to be tough for him to get to the front. The other big question is the men in the back. You have ESV Viper alongside ESV Barcode, as Barcode's taking a trip through the grass. Not sure, it looks like Eclipse is going to the tail end. Yeah, well, as you can see, they are showing some love. Don't show too much of it because you might see damage. So they're starting to double up in the NASCAR turn 3 and 4. It's going to be interesting to see, can ESV clinch another victory on the season? The only other driver to do so would be Forza Europa, who had dropped out of the series midway through the season, unfortunately. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We have 37 laps here at Daytona International Speedway, a champion to crown, and possibly a first-time winner this season, and possibly a first-time winner in MEA, exactly to be said, as we go green flag racing here at Daytona International Speedway. And a rough start for Tsunami. Not sure what exactly happened right there. Looks like some bumping out there, some really aggressive driving early on. It's really tough to tell exactly how things have started out here with Yankee, currently the race leader. Turismo on the inside, there's triple wide. Brentwood spinning out on the straightaway. And so Brentwood, after starting up front, already making early mistakes. Turismo, however, he's moved up a couple of spots. So the SMX drivers 1 through 5, except for Turismo, or I should say, I'm sorry, 1, 3, and 4, as Tsunami's got the straight line speed as they get through the bus stop. Went by Savitar like it was nothing. Meanwhile, it looks like Viper's moved up a couple of spots. Barco back there in the 14th spot, not able to make any moves just yet. ESV 12th, 13th, and 14th right there. Slipstream F1 and SSR Brentwood behind them, fading off. And if you're Brentwood, that's not what you wanted to see at the beginning of the race. Early mistakes on, but luckily not too much damage to be dealt with as we ride along with ESV Barcode. Let's hop on. 3 wide coming off of 1. They work together. Viper off the racetrack into the grass. Alongside him is ESV Eclipse as they're following right behind AMS Sandman. Sandman getting a top 5 a few weeks ago as DBO Dr. Quinn getting passed on the outside by Sandman and the ESV boys. And Eclipse trying to not run him off right there. All 4 drivers able to get by. Viper down into the inside, takes over the 9th spot from Sandman. Still side by side with Barcode right now. Taking that outside line. Can he get the run off the corner? They're still side by side going on the oval part of the racetrack. Sandman giving a little bit of a bump to Barcode right there. Oh my goodness, and Barcode wrecked into the bus stop. Not what you want to see for the points leader, and he's got some work to do after that accident. And it looks like he's not the only one. FBR Erie got caught up in that too, so tough luck for 2 drivers early on in this race. Coming into the race tonight, ESV Viper had a chance of possibly winning the championship based off where Barcode finished if enough drivers showed up. We did not check for those points, so I can't exactly say what that would be, but if that's the case, there is a possibility that Viper could win the championship as Barcode and Erie and I do apologize there, my mic cut out. As I was trying to say throughout that entire lap, there's a possibility that ESV Viper might win tonight in the championship. He came in as a long shot, but it depended where Barcode finished in the race. There is 16 drivers more than expected tonight, so could that be a difference maker by the end of this race, depending on where Barcode can recover from, or can Viper get up through the field and possibly get his first championship in the MEA Prototype Challenge? A lot of stories still to be told here as Barcode and Erie are going to go a lap down as the leaders go on by, going into lap number 5. So you see Erie coming out of the pits right there, and Barcode, he's got the worst end of the deal, so he's got some work to do, that's for sure. A Viper already into the top 5, and I'm sure he's very well aware that his teammate, also the points leader who's in front of him in the championship, had made a huge mistake. So right now, it's anybody's match in the championship for the points. And not only that, we got a battle for the race lead. 2 drivers never won here at MEA. SMX J Yankee and AMS Tsunami running 1 and 2. Turismo as well. He's running in the 3rd spot. Behind them is FEMO Racing and ESV Viper. And you can see the speed difference. Oh, but J Yankee makes a big mistake and a crossover move inside of the bus stop. And your new race leader, it's Tsunami. Turismo goes down low to the inside as well. He'll take over the 2nd spot. So just like that, some things are mixing up just a little bit there. It sounds like one of the drivers have topping out. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Sandman and Eclipse are into the pits, as possibly we're into the pits. That's a tough guess. I have no idea. where those two lie, or why they're so far behind. We got a battle here for ninth between Amos Supreme. He recently passed SSR Brentwood for the race position. Brentwood, who spun out early into the race after qualifying second overall, trying to bounce back. A tough task to do with such a stout field. I don't know who to sit on, but maybe we'll sit on with Viper. He's catching up to the fourth place car of FEMO. The beginning of the race was pretty wild. We weren't expecting Tsunami to have such a rough start, but he fell back to fourth and was able to bounce back to the lead. Kind of hurt him a little bit in speed and time, but I think he's got back in front just in time. So Viper now putting the pressure on FEMO Racing for the fourth spot. Viper, who's stayed out of trouble since the start of this race, into the top five, and look at the move, he's putting it on, he's side by side and gets on by, going into the bus stop. FEMO's got a big run through the bus stop as well, gets to the rear bumper almost, just not able to nip him, just to kind of get him a little squiggly there. Trying to cut that airway off, and Viper on the move. He's got a little ways to go, but has plenty of time to try to get the job done. Meanwhile, Turismo and Tsunami using the draft. ESV Eclipse is off the racetrack. I can only imagine. I'm assuming. I have no idea, honestly. Some teammate helping out there. Eclipse coming into the race season late. Looks like he's giving some of them points back to Barcode. That's team assisting right there at its finest. Dr. Quinn on the rear bumper of Erie. He's currently on the lead lap. Eclipse now trying to get back that spot. Not only that, you know, Sandman as well. He's out here helping out his teammate as well, Tsunami. He wanted to kind of, I'm sure that he was expecting to be more of a factor for those guys, and it seemed like he was doing a great job holding his line before Barco was involved in that bus stop accident. Out there doing a fantastic job. I'm going back up to Dr. Quinn real quick. Currently not battling with anybody, but trying to find some pace to get into the top 10. Dr. Quinn's got a lap down car in front of him. FVR Erie, he was involved in that wreck with Barcode. You know, that's just one of those things you just didn't expect. Barcode making a pretty big mistake into the bus stop, collecting Erie. Erie was able to get to the pits in time with him, and unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, was able to get out in front of Barcode, but a few laps in, and Barcode was able to get back in front. And the mission right now is for Barcode to try to salvage whatever he can get, seal his championship against ESV Viper, his teammate. We hop on the 7th place driver, SMX Savitar. See what he's up to, and he's currently running solo. And it looks like Brentwood and they're still duking it out back there, huh? Supreme and Brentwood. I thought this was over, but Brentwood's been able to hang strong. And for those that don't know, AMS Supreme started the season, the first few weeks, was one of the fastest drivers in qualifying. Each week had some different problems. Each and every night, it just seemed, and he had a breakthrough in one of them, but we haven't seen him for a couple weeks, and we're glad to see him back in racing form. Currently running inside the top 10. How about FVR Willow, ladies and gentlemen? Originally came in during the tribute to FVR Una back in week 2. Has been running with us ever since, and he's been getting better each and every week. Qualified pretty decent, has been doing a great job so far on the racetrack. You see ESV Barcode right behind him, the points leader, currently still a lap down in this one, and probably will be a lap down for the remainder of the race unless something significant happens. As we pull up the race map, you can see where the race leaders are on the racetrack. Viper now trying to catch up to SMXJ Yankee, and Turismo's hanging tight with his teammate Tsunami. You gotta wonder if maybe they're using that draft to help him on the straight. I'm sure one of those two guys would like to be winning this here today for their team and ending the ESV streak that's been going on for the last 3 weeks. The winners so far this season, Barcode, Forza Europa, and Viper. Will we see another name on that list? Right now, it looks pretty good with 28 laps to go, and not too far behind them is ESV Viper, as he's slowly creeping in on 3rd place driver SMXJ Yankee. Jay Yankee, who had a pretty solid week last week and the week before that. Had the lead for a good handful of laps after the little debacle early on with Tsunami and Pimo and almost everybody. The only issue that happened was Brentwood in that first lap. It spun out, and then Barcode hit that wall, and it's been pretty good since then for everyone. Everyone's been staying out of trouble, I should say. The Viper's been the biggest mover of the race. For those that are just tuning in, this is the championship week, week number 6 of the MEA Prototype Challenge here at Daytona International Speedway. Tonight, we crown a champion. Could it be ESV Viper? Long shot. We still don't know where he has to finish to win and where Barcode has to finish to lose it all, but right now, Barcode's back in 14th, a lap down, and Viper's still on the lead lap, hunting down the race leaders. So there's a lot still to be told. Or will Barcode seal the deal tonight, win his first MEA championship? And could we see a new winner, a new face, or will Viper spoil the day for the AMS boys as he rockets on by Jay Yankee for the 3rd spot? And we've seen that again and again and again with the SMX drivers. They just do not have enough top end on the big long straightaways, and that's been hurting them the most throughout the race so far. As Yankee now goes back to the 4th spot after that pass by Viper. And you see the 2 AMS guys right in front of him. He's gonna do everything in his power to get to them. Coming into the night's race, didn't think he had much of a chance to win the championship. He knew that there was a possibility, but now it's coming to fruition, and who knows how this championship's gonna shake, because maybe I'll do some points hunting here for everybody. Let's take a look at the points as is. So currently your championship points, top 3, I'll throw in Tsunami as well. He's the closest one. ESV Barcode has 1,246 points. ESV Viper has 1,210 points. AMS Tsunami is at 1082. Let's do the math here. As I pull up the points chart. Now, neither driver got bonus points, so as of right now, in the third spot, that'd be 236 points for ESV Viper. That would put him at... I already think I know the answer, but I'm just going to use a calculator just so that we have an honest saying here. And so he had 1210. We had 236. Nope, that's not what I wanted. 1210 plus 236. I love calculators. So that would put him at 1446, where they currently stand, running third. Now, 1246 plus and 14th, 196. As of right now, as is, ESV Viper would win the championship as long as Barcode is not able to get any more spots in this race. Viper's going to want to have to win this race. Oh, Yankee almost smacks off the race wall. So the championship is really, really tight right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is between Barcode and Viper. Barcode, who made a huge mistake early in the race, wrecking into the bus stop, has put this into a possibility that Viper's going to spoil the dominant season that Barcode has had here in the final race of the season. This is wild. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Bobberts would win by literally 4 points. And I say Bobberts, it's Viper. He used to be SSR Bobberts. But ESV Viper would win by 4 points if they stay as is right now, ladies and gentlemen. So Viper needs to put the jets on, because if Barcode is capable of catching up, and I believe the next man up is Sandman, which is half a track away, it's going to be tight. And this is going to be a tough championship right now. There's a lot of possibilities here. Now, further back at the back of the pack, it's SSR Brentwood, as he's got, I believe they have just passed Savitar. I don't believe Savitar's on him, but he makes a really bad break right there. We're going to keep track of the points battle right now, because there's only 2 drivers in the race that can win this. And it's like I said, it's going to be super tight. Super tight. Brentwood, as Barcode gets on by. Barcode's definitely on a mission right now. So, 23 laps to go. As we are gonna hop off these guys. Let's hop on with the race leaders, shall we? AMS Tsunami. You gotta wonder how they are doing up front. I'm gonna say they're using the draft to help each other out. So again, we do one more look here. I just want to confirm the points right now, because this is super, super tight. I'm trying to do 2 things at one time. So Bobberts, or Viper, man, I gotta stop saying that. It's so hard. You call him one name for a long, long time, and then 4 years later changes it up on me. So, you know, you just kind of gotta get used to that still. But Supreme is on the way. Let's hop on with Supreme, the other AMS driver, currently trying to catch up to his teammates. The one thing about Barcode is he's going to have to make another pit stop in this race, where the other guys up front that didn't have any accidents early on, Erie, Barcode, Sandman, and Eclipse probably will all have to make an extra stop in this race based off of where they pitted into the race. They're just going to be short probably a handful or so of laps. So it's definitely on right now. And like I said, as is, if Viper and Barcode finish where they currently are, ladies and gentlemen, Viper will end up winning the MEA championship by 4 points. He would finish with 1,446. Barcode would finish with 1,442. So it's getting good out there on the racetrack. You see Barcode right behind AMS Supreme, and you gotta think right now, Supreme could be a difference maker. He's a very good driver, he's got a fast car, and he can hold his line very, very well. Barcode is extremely fast right now. And working very, very, very hard to try and catch up to these guys in front of him. You know, talk about drama. We got a lot going on in this race. Supreme throws it up near the wall, trying to get a really, really good run through the corner. As this is our Steve right in front of him. Steve hanging on for dear life right there. And Supreme throws it to the outside. Steve holding the inside line side by side around the hairpin now. Steve able to stay out front. He's still currently in front of Supreme, but Supreme he's gonna let Barcode go. So just like that, the lap down car, ESV Barcode, not having to worry about too much lap traffic right now. They are hanging in there tight with one another. If you're just tuning in, this is the finale of the MEA Prototype Challenge. Drama has taken effect here at MEA, as where Viper and Barcode currently stands, Viper would win the championship by 4 points, and that would be such a huge upset after the dominant season that Barcode has had up to this point. SSR Brentwood, who wrecked in lap number 1 after starting second, has been fighting his way back up, trying to get to that front again. Barcode had wrecked into the butt stop moments after that and collected FBR Erie. However, ESV Eclipse waited up for his teammate, who making his first appearance here tonight to help out with the points situation. Sandman comes back after a 2-week absence, and so does Supreme. And with all that being said, AMS Tsunami, your pole sitter, had to battle back up through the top 4 because of a bad start early in this race. Currently racing with his teammate Turismo, and ESV Viper not only has an opportunity to win the championship, but try to steal the show here today, starting from all the way at the back of the pack. The two drivers of Barcode and Viper earlier this week stated that they wanted to start at the rear of the field this week. Obviously, Barcode did not expect to make that big of a mistake, and talk about drama, like I said. I mean, this is going to be tight. 4-point difference right now between those drivers, and anything can happen, as Barcode has gotten around Steve, and Steve back to the battling with AMS Supreme. So Barcode's gonna probably need 2 more spots. If Viper can't get to the front, he's going to need those. Let's take a look at the points here. I'm gonna do the adding of them. So let's just say right now he's at 1246. If he was to finish 12th, that's 202. So 12th would put him in front by 2 points. And if he finishes 13th, he would be 1 point short. So Barcode, as is, ladies and gentlemen, would have to finish 12th to win this, not win this race, but win the championship. If Viper does not exceed another position. Steve gets loose in the corner. It looks like Barcode made a mistake, and Supreme capitalizes on it. So just like that, Supreme gets on by for the 6th spot, after Steve was trying to avoid something that Barcode was doing, and Barcode is desperately driving hard right now. pull up the race map, you can see where the drivers are on the racetrack. Viper still has quite a ways to go. He is putting it on the floor, and he is trying to track down these guys. Meanwhile, SMXJ Yankee has fallen off, but he's still out there in the top 5 with his teammate Fimo right behind him in 5th. AMS Supreme, he's currently falling behind the lap-down driver, ESV Barcode, with Steve behind him. Behind Steve is SSR Brentward doing some recovery now, back into the top 10 and still moving up the field. So we'll see if Brentward's got anything still left. Maybe get a couple more positions along the way. SMX Savitar, he's fallen back to the 9th spot. FBR Will still inside, or still in the top 10, I should say. Doing a fantastic job. Behind them, Sandman has moved up a spot or two, as with Dr. Quinn 12th, 13th will be Slipstream F1, and then after that is Barcode, 15th FDR Erie 95. He's possibly going to go down a 2nd lap, so a lot still to be told for some of these guys on the racetrack. So as we said, the Barcode finishes 13th or worse, he will lose the championship. If he's able to maintain 12th at the end of this race, he will get the win of the championship by 2 points. So sure, we can get on board. That's fine. I'm able to do that for you. So Brentward actually is catching up to SSR Steve, his teammate. Let's hop on with Brentward, get on board view with him. As we got a driver into the pits. And that would be Slipstream F1 in the pit road, and not a bad time for it because he should be able to make it to the end on fuel. On board right now with SSR Brentward as it goes to the bus stop. You got SSR Steve, AMS Supreme. Sorry for that. Had to think really hard because Sandman's also in here. And then obviously ESV Barcode right in front of them. And we hop on with Turismo, currently running right behind his teammate Tsunami. You see Viper not too far behind, and I believe Viper is gaining on them just little by little. He is coming. He is going. It's going to be tight, but Viper has an opportunity to put this away. If he can get into that 2nd place spot, he's going to put this in a really tough position for Barcode. It looks like ESV Eclipse has dropped out of this race with 15 cars on the racetrack still. So tough luck for Eclipse coming into this as Tsunami gets really wild through there. Turismo able to hang on to it pretty tightly. So still a long ways to go for those guys. As Sandman has gotten by SSR Steve for the 8th spot. Steve, who went in the pit road. Now with them fresh tires, the problem is Sandman is probably going to have to make another pit stop by the end of this race. He pitted earlier, which was probably strategic, thinking that maybe he would be a factor of holding off the ESV guys. Once again, if you're just tuning in, we're at the finale here in MEA in the MEA Prototype Challenge, as it looks like we have lost another driver. That would be a big blow for Viper. And that would be AMS Supreme. He has lagged out of this race. That's a big game changer right now. Now all Barcode has to do, ladies and gentlemen, is finish 12th. He would win the championship. Oh my goodness! And as Brummer comes out of the pits, Steve had to really pump the brakes and stay wide. Wow, that was really, really close, almost catastrophic. And not only that, that would have been a big game changer probably for the points situation. As Brentward nearly colliding with Steve coming out of the pits. So Slipstream F1 could be a major difference between Barcode and his championship if Viper doesn't get to Turismo and Tsunami. Once again, if you're just tuning in, the championship is right now in favor of ESV Viper by 4 points where they stand. The only two drivers that can win the championship are Viper and Barcode. Tsunami, who's currently third in the points, missed a couple races, and with great performances has kept himself into the top 10 in the points, top 5 let alone. Steve pumping a little early. So let's see where Slipstream is. So there's Barcode, there's Slipstream. Slipstream's actually dealing with a driver on the racetrack right now. That'd be 11th spot, DBO Dr. Quinn. Looks like a battle for the 11th spot right now, ladies and gentlemen. As we ride on board with Slipstream F1. So out of the 16 drivers that started in the race, only 2 of them have, well, one parked it, the other one has pretty much lagged out. Oh, Slipstream able to hang on to it. Not the best of runs to the bus stop. He's doing just fine. Further back is ESV Barcode as we hop on board with Barcode, and you can see right there, ladies and gentlemen, down at the bottom right corner of your screen, his fuel is at 12%. He will be making another pit stop at the end of this race. We've seen a couple of drivers take that yellow stripe. Ooh, well, we got a load of cars right here, 6 through 8. That's AMS Sandman, Brentward and Steve. Probably you should have known that from earlier. But as we hop on with Sandman, you're going to see the same thing. Bottom right corner, he has 7% fuel. However, it's not going to hurt him as much because he's currently inside the top 10. And he's not down a lap yet. See them trying to hang on to the car coming off the edge. I would expect Sandman to probably come in this time. If not another lap or 2, I'd say probably one more lap, and he's going to stay out on the racetrack. So Sandman trying to get every inch out of this car. So we hop back on with Barcode. Still running hard out there. He probably, if they don't have the stream up, he probably is not aware that he needs one more position, but he probably knows where the points are, as Viper always tends to knows what the points are when talking to him. So he's probably letting him know, you gotta go, because if not, I'm gonna seal the deal here. And you know, the thing about Viper is this isn't a series you expect him to win a championship in. We've seen him win in NASCAR, we've seen him win in other things like that, but he's never really competed that great in prototypes. And here he is with a possibility of stealing the series as Barcode enters pit road for the second time here today. And we're gonna see what happens here. Does he get passed up by Erie? I would assume not, because Erie is going to be in the same situation. And I have a feeling Erie just wrecked and is backed out of the race. That's exactly what happened. So now Viper has to finish second, if that's the case. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I thought Erie was in front of him. My bad, I had a moment. So Barcode is still not out of the water just yet. Sandman's in the pits now. But look at that gap between Barcode and Slipstream. All Slipstream has to do is run his race, try to see if he can pick up another spot or 2, as he's trying to duke it out with Dr. Quinn. And for Barcode, it's going to be a heck of a drive here with 13 to go. Just to think that they elected to start from the rear of the field, you obviously know that this wasn't the plan for ESV Barcode to be in. He obviously wanted to start from the back of the pack this week, along with his teammate Viper, but wasn't expecting to be in a situation where he has to at least finish 12th or better to secure his championship. He gets a little bit better through that time. Let's hop on with ESV Viper, currently running in the 3rd spot, as he's trying to hunt down with him and get on board with him. Knowing Viper personally, he's a competitor, and he's going to do everything he can to catch these two. Not only catch these two, but I'm sure he's aware that he can possibly win the championship. He tends to listen to the stream while he races, so I'm sure he knows the situation. And how crazy would it have been if Tsunami could have been closer in the points? Could that have mixed things up? Because that's just, that's a he, she, said this, said that situation, possibility. It isn't, but it would be extremely crazy if that was the case. So Barcode's going to have the drive of drives right now, because I don't believe, it looks like he's gotten a little closer, but not by much. I don't see Viper getting to them near the end of this race at this point based off of what I'm seeing. How about you guys in the chat? Who do you expect to win this race? Do you got Tsunami? Do you got Turismo? Can Viper catch up to them with 12 laps to go? Is Viper going to win the championship? Or will Barcode somehow find a way to get back at least one more position to secure his championship? It's wild right now. And it looks like Tsunami's finally getting away from Turismo as we hop on board with Turismo right now. You see right there, good old Viper. So Tsunami's finally put the jets on. And it looks like Barcode is caught up to Fimo. And ooh. And this is not what you want right now if you're ESV Barcode, having to deal with traffic, and not only traffic, lead lap traffic. So he might have a better run. I believe he will. The SMX guys have not been good on the straight line speed in this race. And Barcode able to get on by, but he was held up for some laps, and now in that position again. They're having to regroup and reevaluate. Fimo and Jay Yankee still in the top 5 right now. The SMX drivers representing well. Check on that race map real quick here, see where everybody is on the racetrack. Tsunami's actually getting in the lap traffic. Or was I just seeing things? I was just seeing things. Not bad. But anyways, here's where everybody is on the racetrack as I go through. So we got somebody rooting for Barcode right now. How about everybody else? I know there's more than one person in this chat. I can see it on my screen. Feel free to let us know your thoughts. Speak out. Have a good time with it. Right now, it's a tight championship, and everything's on the line for these drivers. That wreck early in the race changed everything about the championship, and it's not looking good right now for Barcode. What happened to Viper? Looks like he's losing ground. He lost another second. So we're gonna hop on with Slipstream F1. He's gotten by Dr. Quinn for the 11th spot. So now Dr. Quinn's the one in the way of Barcode's championship. you know, the thing about Dr. Quinn, he's a guy that doesn't care who you are. He's going to race you hard till the end. So if somehow Barcode gets to him by the end of this race, don't expect it to be easy unless that straight line speed is that much better. And Slipstream, you can just see him kind of pulling away from Dr. Quinn right now. Barcode's not that much farther behind, but he's been dealing with traffic after getting by Fimo, and now he's up to SMXJ Yankee. Now, this shouldn't be that hard for him, but he's gonna have to probably get another straightaway or two with the top end speed of just the way it's been for these SMX guys. It's definitely not in their favor. And we just look how fast he just closes that gap in on Yankee right there. And it's not even a contest. Barcode is on a mission right now. Yes, they are, first and second are pretty gone, Paul, but anything can happen. 8 laps to go. A lot still to be told here, as first and second have finally caught up to the next two cars that they're going to try to put a lap down. Slipstream F1 and Dr. Quinn, who are having a fantastic battle back here for 11th and 12th, with Dr. Quinn able to retake that position back from Slipstream. Now here's the big question. I don't know how Slipstream is when it comes to, I mean, these two are battling for position. The one thing they don't want to do is obviously create any issues for the race leader. That definitely is something to keep an eye on, but you know for a fact that Tsunami is very well aware that these two are duking it out for position. Slipstream looks like he got a little loose through the corner. And Tsunami going for his first ever win here in MEA. How great would it be at a track that he loves? As you see Turismo right behind him, not too far away, but definitely losing ground. And Tsunami's straight line speed's just crazy fast. I mean, that is just insane how much faster these AMS guys have been. Look at Dr. Quinn, though. He didn't get a good corner. And Dr. Quinn getting loose. He's into the grass. And Slipstream able to get on by him. So how is Turismo going to handle this? This is got a big question for Turismo right now, because he is possibly a difference factor for him and Viper. And not only that, for the championship hopes of Barcode and Viper. Is he going to get by him fast enough, or is he going to get held up too much? Based off what I'm seeing, though, for the AMS guys, they got the top end speed. It's been phenomenal all race long, alongside with the ESV guys. Slipstream able to get that good run off the corner again. And Dr. Quinn hanging tight. He's going to stay the high line and let Turismo on by. So Dr. Quinn says, I'm not going to hold you up. You're on the lead lap. Tsunami currently with the fastest lap of the race. Got a 129.419. I'm not sure if that's dirty or clean, because all these guys are having issues through the bus stop, but... And there goes Slipstream. He's going to take the high line, but that's going to slow him down. It's going to bring Dr. Quinn in on him. A Viper nowhere to be seen behind, so Turismo does have some breathing space. It looks like Slipstream might take the cake there in their battle. Let's hop on with Barcode right now. He's not too much farther behind. Let's hop on board with him. You know, there's a lot of battling going on with those guys in front of him. So So Dr. Quinn losing a little bit of ground. You just kind of hear the difference in shifts between all the drivers and their different tuning sets. I swear I heard a driver topping out though. A good run through the bus stop there by Barcode, so he's just on a mission and running super fast right now. That's definitely good for him at this point of the race, but obviously not where he wants to be. Dr. Quinn, he's caught ESV Viper right behind him and almost back in the grass. And right now, that's a big pass for Viper, not getting held up too long. Knows that there's still enough time, possibly, as you see Barcode right there. Dr. Quinn's gonna have to push this car. We talked about coming into the championships, and then earlier this year, the NASCAR series that we had held was one of the tightest point series we had going into a final. We had about 4 cars, 3 cars by week 10, but in the 9th week, MEA was knocked out from contention. But the way that the points have lined up for this race tonight, with the mistake that Barcode had made early on, has made it an extremely problematic, not problematic, but fantastic opportunity to see something that we don't ever really see here, where a points leader makes a major mistake going to the final week. Now, hence, they decided to start from the rear of the field, but, you know, fair play is fair play. And now the guy in second, who should not have a shot right now winning the championship, is now leading the championship as is by 4 points. And the differences between that and 12th place. And as we hop on, let's ride aboard again with Viper, as this is a major final 4 laps of the race. I would love to sit on Tsunami, but this is big. This is for the championship. We are riding with Barcode. He is not that far away. I mean, he is far away, but he's not that far away from Dr. Quinn. I mean, this is an impressive drive. I mean, not into the top 10, not leading the race. Obviously, we know that. But from a 2 pit stop strategy to the early mistake to how far he had to go from the bus stop to the pit road, as damaged as he was, it's going to be pretty cool to see here as we ride with him. One thing that he has over Dr. Quinn right now is the top end speed to the car. It's absolute closing speed. And the other thing is, Dr. Quinn's been very inconsistent throughout the racetrack. 3 laps left. He is hunting down Dr. Quinn, ladies and gentlemen. And the one thing that we haven't been able to see is Viper be able to catch up to these guys in first and second. So at this point, I'd say it's fair to say it's Barcode's race to lose, or championship to lose. I don't think Dr. Quinn was expecting to have to battle for this position, but I didn't think Barcode had enough time to get to this position. Barcode is moving and moving fast. Look at the top speed difference right now. He's closing that gap. Now Dr. Quinn knows he's on that lead lap. He knows he's battling right now. Oh man. or he's on the lead lap, but he knows that he's battling with the lap down. Does he stay high? He's gonna let him go, and your new points leader is the Barcode. He's up by 2, so Viper now has to try to get to second spot, and I don't think that's gonna happen. There's still a couple laps to go. Anything can happen, but Viper, he's gonna have to find some super jet speed because right now he is 2 points behind in the championship. And obviously, he has not gained enough ground to be battling for second place Turismo, and Turismo kind of a surprise after qualifying and after a couple of races into the season, did not see the speed throughout the series. Not too much. We've seen it early on in the season, back in week 1 and week 2, but it hasn't been the greatest after that. So definitely key to today's race. I thought maybe Viper had an opportunity to get to him, but Turismo's doing a fantastic job. And Barcode is starting to pull away, as expected. With 2 laps to go, we'll hop on with AMS Sandman. Sandman, who was another driver that had to take the extra pit stop after an early stop, battling for the 8th spot with SMX Savitar. 1 lap to go next time by. Now, just so everybody is aware, the last 2 times we tried to do interviews, we weren't able to hear them. So, if not, I'm still going to take the interviews. I will do a simple breakdown of what they say in there, but hopefully this week it'll work properly and we will be able to hear post-race interviews coming up after this race. I'm surprised that Sandman is not squeezing by Savitar. We've seen the great speed that the AMS drivers, the cars have had. Oh, look at this. So he's going to take the outside line. He's still going to take the outside line, it looks like, possibly. Side by side, currently battling it out. There it is. There's the speed. He is racing him. He's not passing him. We're going to go back to the leaders. So it looks like he's just having some fun out there. Definitely superior on the top end speed, but here's the man of the hour right now, AMS Tsunami. Actually one of 2 of the men of the hour as we crown a champion here tonight. Tsunami started on pole, wasn't the best start to the race, but has done everything right since then. White flag in the air, last lap here in the MEA Prototype Challenge. It's Tsunami leading the way. Came into this race with good expectations, wasn't prepared enough in qualifying, wasn't happy with his time, thought he had more in the car, found out that the ESV drivers didn't qualify. He felt like that was a great advantage coming into tonight, and since Viper's been able to crack into the top 5, he has not been able to do anything to catch the 2 drivers of AMS that have been up front since the start of this race. And SMX J Yankee and Female Racing, they've been doing a phenomenal job too. Early on incidences, nothing they can handle there. I'm sure we might hear about it, but I don't know. As it's not coming around another corner here. A great run by Turismo. We talked about these other guys all day, but we haven't said much about Turismo. Turismo's done a fantastic job. Give him tons of credit. He's ran a great race. He was battling with Tsunami for the first spot, but Tsunami just clearly has come into a whole nother level late in the race. I'm sure Tsunami's going to be very excited about this win, getting his first MEA win on the season, and not only that, in any MEA League racing here at Daytona International Speedway. The checker flag flies. AMS Tsunami is your race winner, ladies and gentlemen. Post-race interviews coming up next. AMS Turismo second. Third will be ESV Viper. He fought all day long. He almost, I mean, there's still 1 lap to go here, but he had the championship for the entire race based off where they were in the points. Barcode, however, has driven phenomenally well, and there's nothing you can say about it. Look at this, Jay Yankee has closed the gap on Female Racing. actually, it's Fimo that closed the gap on Jay Yankee. And Fimo come home 4th. 5th will be Jay Yankee. 6th will be SSR Brentwood. Great recovery by Brentwood. He wrecked early on this race. SSR Steve, another top 10 on the season for him. Coming home 7th. Sandman, however, he's still duking it out with Savitar, but we knew that the top end speed was all in Sandman's favor. He should be bringing this one home 8th. 9th will be SMX Savitar. And you know, the most consistent driver, one of them I've seen all day, FVR Willow. We didn't talk much about him too. Phenomenal job. Stayed in front. I think he was up as high as 6th or 7th at one point in this race. Has held his lines great and has remained the last car on the lead lap. So great job by FVR Willow. Oh, but look at this. We got a battle for the 11th spot right now. ESV Barcode. He's not done yet. The Slipstream's going to have to hold the inside line. And he's just letting him go by. Like, that's not... I'm sorry. I know I'm commenting, but as a fan of racing, why would you do that? Make him work from the outside. But that doesn't matter. ESV Barcode is your 2021 MEA Prototype Champion, finishing 11th. 12th, we at Slipstream F1. 13th, DBO Dr. Quinn, which actually, I believe... Yep, okay. So he's coming across the line now. 14th, 15th, and 16th all got knocked out of the race. Post-race interviews coming up next. Stay tuned. So there's your final results right there. We're gonna get a picture of this so we don't forget it. So the final point standings might not come out till tomorrow, but we're gonna hopefully have them done by tonight. With that being said, let's get the top 5. Well, we can only get the top 3 drivers in here, as the SMX drivers don't speak English. So let's get Tsunami, Turismo, Viper, and Barcode in, as he is your champion nonetheless. And then we will, sound off for the final race of this series. And it's definitely been a lot of fun for me. I always enjoy the action. I always enjoy, I've always enjoyed commentating the competition aspects of things. It's always been phenomenal to enjoy, and just what great racing we had here this entire season of the Prototype Challenge. It had some rocky moments, but what doesn't ever have a rocky moment? So we're going to get everybody in here momentarily. Stay tuned as we try to hopefully hope that, everything works. As Tsunami's coming in right now. And hopefully we'll get Turismo, Barcode, and Viper in here. And I'm going to do a check real quick with Tsunami. Tsunami, is there a checkmark box in your party? Why is that a thing? Hold on. We're taking a minute. I'm trying to see if this is working or not. Yes. So, all right. So real quick here, I want to know why this is doing this. You know what? I'm going to try a new party, and we'll reopen it up. So we'll be right back. So we're going to open up another party and see if that helps at all. And we're still going to try to get Turismo and Barcode in here. Because neither of them... Well, it won't really matter if we can't get anything to work, so that's... Let's see here. How about now, guys? I don't know what's going on with this. Well, regardless, we will still do the interviews, and I will just translate as much as I can. So, without Barcode here, I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but for the sake of hopes that this comes through at any random moment, just keep it PG, guys, just in case. All right, so I'm going to talk to Tsunami last. We're going to go straight to Viper, and Viper, talk about a wild race for you. I mean, you did everything right. You stayed out of trouble, got your way up through the field, got inside the top 5, and then obviously Barcode made a huge mistake, and from that mistake, you were leading the championship throughout probably 90% of the race by 4 points. And just there at the end, Barcode did an incredible drive to steal the championship and get it done. And you had really no idea that you were going to be really fighting for it tonight, but it really put it in an opportunity there for you to do it. And with that being said, I'm only going to really ask one question because obviously no one can hear you guys. I'm going to do my best. But basically, Viper comes in tonight with, the honor of racing with Barcode. Had a great run, wasn't able to get it done, but couldn't be any happier with the progress that's been improved. And Viper, obviously, there was huge progress for you in the series. Obviously, you're not a prototype driver at heart, but you've dabbled in it here and there throughout the last couple of years, and you've definitely turned it on. Second overall, missed it by a few points there at the end, but I'm sure you're satisfied with that. And I just gotta say congratulations to a great season for you. Well, congratulations on a top 3 finish. Definitely a great drive today, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future in this series. So you never know what might happen down the road. But again, congratulations. So that was ESV Viper, everybody. Once again, I do apologize. We've had this technical issue for the last few times we've streamed. We'll be working on that, trust me. And Turismo, you came in tonight late. As we didn't, well, you didn't come in late. Actually, that was Salmon. But Turismo, you came in tonight. You didn't have, we weren't. I don't believe you were here last week or the week before. I can't remember. But you haven't had the consistency that you probably wanted throughout the series. And then tonight, you were lights out, and you hung with Tsunami for the longest time. And just there at the end, he got away from you. But was the plan to stick with him and use the draft so you guys can get away from the pack, or were you just kind of sticking with him, trying to find a way to get around him? Mm-hmm. And just as he said, I'll summarize it down the best I can. With the messed up start at the beginning of the race, for those that were watching at that point in the race, it was pretty chaotic in turn 1. Tsunami went back to 4th spot. Turismo able to get to that 2nd spot early and track down Yankee. Got to hang around for the longest time and couldn't be happier with the result. But, also Turismo, we saw you a few weeks back. You didn't have the greatest performance, and then it's just, is it a hit or miss for you at this point, or is it just one of those things where you got to kind of get dialed in throughout the race to really get the car going the way you want to? Mhm. Oh, that. Well, with that said, he relating it back, hasn't been able to be consistently on as much as he'd like to be, but hoping down the road to contend for more championships. And Turismo, it's been great to have you this season. Congratulations on a strong finish to the season, and we hope to see you back down the road. And that was AMS Turismo, second overall into today's race. And then the man of the hour, one of two, I should say, ANS Tsunami. You came in tonight with really confidence, and I spoke to you before the race. You seemed that the drivers of Barcode and Viper electing to start from the back of the field was kind of a mistake on their end, though they chose to do that. You felt really confident, and you had one heck of a drive. Obviously, early on, not the greatest of starts. I really have no idea what happened. You're welcome to tell us, because on my screen, on replay mode, it was everywhere. But you were able to get back to the front, pass your teammate, and then secure the race there at the end, and you got to be happy to get that first win off your back. Good old Forza glue, huh? Mm. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, he basically said at the beginning of the race he was Forza glued to Brentwood. So, so that explains the whole chaos at the beginning. Wasn't sure if it was someone from behind, but good old Forza physics, the glue, they couldn't get off each other. That's what created that big chaos at the beginning. Was able to get back to his teammate, take off. Loved racing with him. Has considered Turismo a 5-star driver, as said, and Turismo says it right back to him. And with that being said, Tsunami, to get that first win, I know that's exciting for you, but were you expecting to get it here tonight? Mhm. And as he said, this is a special place, whether it's real life or here in a video game competing. Wasn't sure if he could win the race tonight, but out of all places, he's definitely glad to do it here. And Tsunami, congratulations on your first win in MEA. We hope to see you back in the future. You've been a blast to have throughout. We obviously know that you were under some protocols this week, so there's a lot of question marks for you. But talk about a way to cap off the week. Congratulations to you. Well, we appreciate that, and he was thanking the MEA staff for putting on a great show, and he's planning on coming back. So we love hearing that, and Viper, I know you put in a lot of time and effort as well to make things happen. At MEA, it's not one person; it's a little staff, but we do do what we can with what we have, so we appreciate that, Tsunami. Thanks again. And with that being said, we're going to move on to Barcode. And Barcode, woo! First off, congratulations, first-time MEA champion. Not the way you were probably expecting to get it. And I don't know if you were listening to the stream or not, or anyone told you where you were at. You were 4 points behind the entire way. You had to finish 12th or better with where Viper was sitting. You wrecked early on. Who knew what was going to happen? The 2 pit stops. I mean, that was probably really wild for you. And you drove your heart out to basically get yourself in position to win the championship. Did you know about where you were in the points at that point? Mm-hmm. And this. And he was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. And with that said, he wasn't the purpose of the cause of the accident early on. There was another driver that was in reverse coming onto the racetrack, not really much to do, nowhere to go, and unfortunately had to do some catching up to do, but was able to get it done with 10 laps to go. And you talk about that, Barcode, and he also said it was more exciting to do that than get through the field. So there was a little bit more excitement to it. But with that being said, with those last few laps of the race, did you think, and I'm going to take you 10 laps before you got to Dr. Quinn, did you know that you could get to them in time? Did you know you were going to have only 3 laps to get by him, and then obviously you got slipstream at the end, but what was going through your mind at that point of the race? It, Right, and Roberts. I'm sorry, Viper. It's hard not to do that. I've known him as Roberts for the last 4 years, but obviously Viper needed another position or two to really, to seal it. I mean, I think if he would have gotten one more, I think you guys would have tied. I'd have to check. I would have to look at the points again, but based off all that, Barcode, congratulations on a great season. This is your first time, I believe, at MEA. I'm pretty sure about that. And not only that, a first-time champion. And will we see it come back in future events? We certainly hope so. And with that said, he said, yeah, definitely. And Barcode, again, I know it wasn't the way you wanted to finish a race, but a solid performance by you. Congratulations on being the 2021 MEA Prototype Champion. Kudos to you. You're welcome. I was glad to have you. And that being said, for anyone that is going to watch, because we know that some of the competitors do, we appreciate everyone that has competed at some point in the season. It's had some rocky, it's been a rocky road for some drivers. It's been problematic, dramatic, but we had a lot of fun. I know I had a lot of fun. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Barcode, your champion in the MEA Prototype Challenge, and AMS Tsunami picking his first ever MEA win here in the Prototype Challenge. I'm SSR Mayhem. Thank you for watching as we sound off for until next time here at MEA.